Here we have my 95 Mustang GT 5.0. The last year of the push rod 5.0. I've been having trouble with running lean issues. I've done everything from fuel pump, fuel filter, I did the fuel pressure regulator, distributor, coil, spark plug wires, and now I am going to take and replace it with another set of injectors, because that's the last thing I can think of. If it's not the injectors, then I'm going to start going at like O2 sensors, but usually if your O2 sensors are not working, you'll run rich, and it's saying I'm running lean. And then maybe the mass airflow sensor, I'm not really sure. Like, it was definitely easier back in the day when you could just carburet these things. Or if it was OBD2, at least I could hook my computer up to it and see exactly what's going on with live data. But I don't have an OBD1 reader, which I think just pulls codes. It doesn't really tell you anything with live data. I don't know, I've never had one, so I'm not sure. I'm not a professional by any means. I'm just some guy that has a garage and loves project cars. A little too much, because all my cars are project cars. I've got my 99 SVT Contour. I've got a 96 Miata that I bought that has no engine or training, that I plan on building once I'm done with all my other projects. I've got my 93 Wrangler YJ out there. It's got a 2.5 liter. I think I'm going to turbo. And then I've already done, I did an engine and training swap on it because the engine training was not good in it. And then I have my 99 Miata that is almost completely done. I've done a lot of things to it as far as like rust repair, suspension, exhaust, headers. Yeah. Now, into this thing, which it was running fine when I bought it off this guy. Well, it was off a woman. It was her ex-husband's, and it was parked for like 12 years in a garage. So literally like a barn find, I guess you could say. The dust and dirt on it was so thick because their barn, like their garage was like open. There was no doors. And yeah, it didn't run. They didn't know what was wrong with it. I got it running in like 30 minutes. Especially after I got underneath of it and saw like how clean it was, because I'm not really like, I wasn't a huge SN95 fan. I really like Fox bodies or like the 60s. I owned a 66 Mustang Coupe at one point. And when I got underneath of it and saw how clean this thing was, it's only got 58,000 miles, I was really impressed and bought it right away, because if I couldn't get the engine running, at least I know I could pull the engine, because I've got three 302 engines. And I even have one that I built like 12 years ago that's got custom ported and polished heads that I built and float on a flow bench. They flow like, I think it's like 20 or 30 CFMs lower than the AFR 190 heads. So I think it's like 236 CFMs or 276 CFMs. Like I said, it's been 12 years. I wish I would have wrote all this stuff down, but I was doing it back then and never really thought about writing it down. Or I did, I just lost it, and I don't remember where I put it. But yeah, so I've got that engine. So worst comes to worst, if this thing keeps on acting up, I mean, I haven't done a compression test on it yet, which I don't think, like I said, it was running fine. It was doing great, and then all of a sudden, I let my oldest son take it to his mom's one weekend, and he brought it back and was like, "Oh, it's acting funny, Dad." And well, it was like lean popping and giving me issues. And I've been going through like a lot of the stuff, trying to figure it out. It's been months now, and I'm like recovering from back surgery. I've got another surgery scheduled for my neck because I got hurt in the military, and then I got hit on a motorcycle a year ago. A guy came into our formation and knocked me off the road, and I died on scene, and I had to be like airlifted to a hospital. Almost lost my left leg, and I've been like slowly recovering from that. So I'm not really that fast. That's why my garage is such a mess right now, because it takes a lot for me to like start cleaning up. Even though if I would just clean up as I was doing stuff, it would probably be better. But yeah, I mean, ADHD. definitely a problem. Anyway, I'm gonna get into this. This is just I want to do like videos on how to do things in my spare time. I am retired, so I'd like to show some videos on how to take off your upper intake manifold, and then your throttle body and all that stuff, replace the injectors. So this is like one thing I've always wanted to do. I don't care about making money, I just want to put out videos for people to see stuff that I love, which I don't love any like certain brand. I mean, I am partial to Fords, but if it's got an engine and it's cool, like I love it. Like the Miatas. I never thought I would like a Miata. I grew up in the era where it was like a hairdresser's car. But then I started watching this guy called, his name's Zach Joe. I'm sure lots of people know about him. He was on Donut and he bought a Miata for a project car, and I watched all that. And from like watching him, I was like, wow, this car is so easy to work on. And it looks like a pretty rad project car to have. So I bought one, and I can't believe, like, I wish I would have drove one back in the 2000s to realize how cool they were, because that car is so much fun. It's not a fast car, but it feels like you're going fast, and it handles so well, especially once I started doing all the suspension upgrades and getting like good tires on it and stuff. But I really love that car a lot. And like, I mean, the Contour SVT, like it's a really rare SVT. It's like a cool car that you can get so cheap, and it's definitely a lot of fun to drive. But anyway, enough talking about my cars. And of course I like motorcycles too. Like I've had quite a few motorcycles over the years. I do pretty much all my work myself. So I've cammed them and done head work and valves and everything like that. I know eventually I'm probably going to do a video on how to port and polish like intake manifolds. I'm not going to do the heads because I already have a good set of heads. They're GT40P heads that like I said, I port and polish and flow bench. So those are eventually going to go onto this. And then I also have a comp camshaft that is in that motor. I'm probably going to stick into this. As long as this motor's still good. Once I pop the heads off, I'll know more by looking at the walls. But with only 58,000 miles, I can only imagine it's not bad. But like I said, the guy was driving it around with the issues that I had when it wouldn't run, and what it was. Till I get down, sweetheart. What it was is that the spark plug wires were old and arcing off the heads, and well, off the header pipes and the heads, yeah, both of them. So it was overheating because of course it was not running on all cylinders, and it took me like I said, like 30 minutes to diagnose. I got it started, got it back to my house, which is only like 15-20 minutes away, and yeah, I mean, I started it up and looked underneath, and I could see the arcs happening, and all I did was replace spark plugs and spark plug wires, and then it needed the starter replaced, so I replaced the starter, and yeah, things ran great up until, like I said, my son took it to his mom's, and it came back, and it's been running like this ever since. So it's probably been about 6 months now, five or 6 months of it running like this. And I figured since I got the Miata done and I've been working on the Contour, it's time that I start paying attention to this car, because I love this car. It's a lot of fun. It definitely made me have an appreciation for the SN95s, because it's not fast, but it's definitely brings me back to my childhood when you saw Fox bodies and SN95 in the parking lot of the school. Anyway, so to start on it, we got to start removing. You want to remove the air intake system, and then the throttle body. Well, you got to take off the throttle linkage and spring. Take that off, and you have to take off the upper intake manifold cover. But I'll talk to it as like I'm going through it. So where do I put my light? Up, up. You don't know. Do you? Yeah. I don't let her run around the garage freely because, like I said, it's a mess, and I've got like cat litter soaking up oil from places, and my youngest son dumped oil from a motorcycle oil container over there, and I don't want her licking up anything that she shouldn't be licking up. There's my light. Okay. Oops. That's 13. This is it. So you gotta take off this upper intake manifold cover plate to get to the 2 bolts that are under there. Those are the bolts for the strut tower race that came stock on this. I took it off the other day because I was messing around. I knew I was going to get into this, and I thought I might as well make a video. Plug your max airflow sensor, your inlet air temperature sensor, and unplug your breather hose, your throttle body. And, get this guy off. I should probably rearrange this so you can see inside the engine bay as I'm doing stuff. I gotta unplug the battery charger. Oop, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a... There we go. Now you can see. So here's throttle body linkage. You just kind of spin that up and you can push it on out. Definitely pretty easy considering how some things are. My breather filter. Tilly, no. Don't eat stuff. Not good for you, pup. Okay, 8mm. Take that guy off. What's next? We can get out these. Throttle body. I must these nuts back on here so don't lose them or the gasket doesn't fall off. Oops. Of course. Where did you go? All the way over there. It's funny how far those guys fly. It's like halfway underneath the car. Probably more than that. But that's the EGR valve. No, there's two, but I dropped the other one. It's down in the A-arm somewhere. I did that the other day. So eventually I gotta take the tire off and look for it. But it's definitely down there, somewhere. Force that guy off. Ooh, take off. That vacuum line that goes there, and there's another vacuum line that goes right here. Take off this clip. There's a vacuum line that goes to the fuel pressure regulator. Pop that guy off. We gotta take off this bracket here. There's two bolts, feel like they're 10mm. There's 10. Probably need to use this guy. Okay. Sorry, I just went to my phone so I can see what you guys are seeing without having to click on the camera every single time. I just want to make sure y'all can see it. We'll go into here. Come on. And these are bolts, not nuts. And they are 10mm. Set those guys out of the way. I'll put them back in so I don't lose them. Alright, so that pretty much should be everything besides this guy. What are you? Also here in 11. Where did my 11mm go? Oh, last second, I'll right here. All right. Yep. This is a double, so you have a nut on top of a bolt that holds the throttle cable in place. Or not the throttle cable, I don't really know. I mean, that must, maybe it's a, what's it called? Cruise control cable. I'm not really sure, I have to look at. See, yeah, the Fox body I owned didn't have cruise control, so I've never even looked at, see what this car comes with. Should be a deep well 13. Yes, I'm pretty sure these guys are all 13s. Yep. What did I do with it? How did I misplace that? That's annoying. What did I do with it? I literally just had it in my hand. I do this a lot where I misplace the tools that I'm using down on the ground. Ugh. Good place for it. You got one bolt back here. Okay. There is a vacuum line going right here. Oh, that is. And I ripped it. Okay. Yeah, kind of knew that was kind of, it looked pretty old. Well, Good thing it's got some extra length, and I can just reattach the part that's not ripped, because I don't have any spare vacuum line. And then there's one more vacuum hose. It's the big one that goes in behind, and it should just pull out. Come on. 2 vacuum lines. I forgot to pull this one off the intake manifold, but there's one back here, right here. See, it goes to your PCV valve that's back in here behind the, on the lower intake manifold. I don't remember pulling those injection cables off. Well, either way. I guess I must have done it yesterday, but I knew I was going to do this. There are those ones. Now, okay, this needs to come off. I need to move, what is it, the number 4 spark plug. Gotta take those guys off. What am I using? What I use? Because this side is definitely a pain in the butt. Definitely not the right tool, but it'll work. There's little clips on the side. Oh, you have to push up on. Come on. think my son took I would use like a hook tool to pull up on the one side, but I think he took it because he likes to work on trains, and he most likely has it. He's got a lot of model trains. He's a big model train advocate. There's that one. And that one. Probably have to wait until I get it off. And those should be 8mm also, I'm guessing. But the way they look, 8 or 9s. 8. Loosen these guys up. Stick these guys in my back pocket for safe keeping. Pen magnet, which is not where I left it, so I have no idea where it is. Might be in the Jeep. Okay, well, that should be it for those fuel injectors. I'm gonna finagle this guy out of the way. You gotta get in between these two and up through by the distributor. Oh, yeah, there was a lot of fuel in that rail. Just give it an old wiggle. Oh yeah. Whoops. Well, at least it'll clean the upper intake manifold. That high quality gasoline. Pull this guy up out of the way. Oh, I'm still connecting that injector, that's right. Definitely gotta make sure I clean that up before I start this engine up. Some rags over here. Stay away from my paint, my Very faded paint. Grab some more rags. There you go. Watch out, sweetheart. That's good. Okay. Okay, now I don't have any petroleum jelly or grease, so I grabbed some A&B diaper rash stuff, which I think should be okay. It should be fine. Now I put these guys through my ultrasonic cleaner for a couple of hours. I use some diesel fuel with some awesome, and they actually cleaned up very, very good, like really good. These things were nasty. It looks like the inside of that lower intake manifold there, they were dirty. But you always want to lube up your O-rings, because if you don't, you risk tearing them, and you don't want to tear them. That is for sure. Like where the point where they don't really want to stay in where they're supposed to stay in. That's probably a tribute to the diesel fuel. Okay. Up some of this gasoline. We definitely don't want a fire starting. I had a Fox body, that's what happened to it. It caught on fire. And I was young, didn't think about having a fire extinguisher in my vehicle. And I mean, it didn't burn completely down to the ground, but it definitely ruined the wiring harness and stuff. And yeah, Lessons learned when you're young. So now I'll take this guy, put him back down this way. Oops. Hook this injector back up before we go back down in. Oh, no, don't you come out. No. Pain in the ass. Probably be easier just to, yep, probably gonna stick them down inside their ports. That'd be a lot easier. Also, okay, got that one plugged in. These guys really don't matter. I can do that in a minute. Now, trying to line all these guys up. There are those ones. Okay. Nice. All right. Pretty straightforward. Make sure I plug all of these guys back in. Tighten down, then check for leaks. Ugh. Usually do it by finger. So as you don't want to cross thread them, that would not be good in the aluminum. This side's a little bit tighter than the other side. These done by hand. And then there's marks. So you can pretty much, as long as it's an older car like this, I have marks already there, that you can put the fuel rail exactly back to where it was prior. You can see there's kind of like a circle there. Just give it a little push. Tighten it down by hand. It should be the same with this side, except this one's definitely a lot harder to get. I should probably use a stubby, a short well rather than a deep well. Back it off a little bit. Yeah, that's exactly where it needs to be. Give it a little hand tighten. This is aluminum, so you don't have to like go crazy on tightening it down. Just a little bit past, and it'll be all right. Okay, now I'll put the spark plug wire back wherever. There you are. I'm gonna send it up through here. There we go. That guy's out of the way. These guys need to stay under here. I always forget to do this whenever I'm doing it, so this is the first time I'm actually remembering, but these vacuum lines need to go underneath your intake manifold. I mean, yeah, it's underneath the intake manifold where the throttle body connects, so you can plug in to where you need to plug into. Like this one goes into here, and then the other one goes into your throttle body. And of course that guy came out. I think it's broken, but I'll put it over here. This goes to one of the solenoids for the EGR system. I'll remember to put it back in, hopefully. Okay. Oh, shit, that's right. Gotta try to remove that broken air hose vacuum line. Where are you? You're right here. Come on now. There we go. Oh, man. Definitely order some new vacuum lines. Without a doubt. That thing is feeling pretty crappy. Grab your upper intake manifold. This is the part where you want to keep this part up, and then here's your vacuum line that goes to that port in the back. Just gotta find it and stick it in there. It's so much nicer if you can actually see, but you can't. Now I'm stuck. What are you called on? Holy smokes. Really? There we go. You're stuck there. There we go. Nice. Did you pop out? Yeah, of course you popped out. Why would you stay in? That would be too much to ask. It's always a nice thing on how much room they give you, even for a 95. That's why I wish I still had a Fox body, but the prices for Fox bodies are ridiculous now. It's insane on how much they think they are worth. There we go. That one started. That one started. That one started. That one started. Okay. Now I'm not gonna torque these down yet. I just wanna kind of hold it here. There we go. Do that, and then I'll finish it by hand. Again, this is aluminum on aluminum, so you don't need a ton of pressure. I always just go like maybe a 1/16 of a turn, if that. Just enough to tighten her down a little bit. Oh, I forgot to check to see if we had any leaks on the injectors. That wasn't very smart. Why are you still beeping? There you go. Make sure there's no leaks. That's dry, dry, dry. Everything looks dry. Take my light off. Oh yeah, we're good. Nice. When I was in my high performance engine building and chassis design class, I wish I had that machine that we used to the fuel injector cleaner. That thing was awesome. I mean, I know you can do it by hooking up like a tester and spraying some like injector cleaner through it. That's like that way to do it, but it's just to have one of those machines where you just pop it in, tell it to go, and it just pulses it and sprays it through and cleans it the whole time. That is, and then you can check to see if your injectors are actually spraying good. It'd be nice to have one of those, but they're really expensive for what they are. Usually people don't bring injectors to you to have you clean them anymore. Okay, time to hook some stuff back up. Got that hooked in. This guy needs to get hooked into there. You can send him on the back side. Yeah, you're long enough. Let's just get you on there. There we go. Okay. That's a big one. He goes there. That's the main vacuum hose to your vacuum tree. So that's a very important one. You definitely need that. You don't ever want to forget about that guy. I'm gonna put him on here first so I can finagle this guy. Yes, it's a metal pipe, of course. Oh yeah, tight. Now I know I can register this guy as a classic auto and not have to worry about my emission tests and all that, but it just takes a long time. It's not, it takes a while because I have my 99 Miata registered as a classic auto, and it took like 3 months for them to get and you're not allowed to drive it until you get your plate. And that's if they approve it, which I know they would approve it on this, but it's just a long time to wait to get something. When I want to be able to enjoy it, maybe during the winter, because I don't drive this thing during the winter, I'll apply for it, get it in the mail, and then I don't have to worry about inspections or emissions anymore, and I can get rid of the cats, because I've got race cats on it. It's got BBK, long tube headers, and race cats, along with you know, MagnaFlow exhaust systems, 2.5 inch. Put this guy back on here. And those were 10mm. Come on now. There's that. I don't want to forget about hooking that guy back up. Yeah, I definitely need to probably replace this guy. A lot of vacuum hoses. This is one thing I can't stand, vacuum hoses either. So annoying. Get that plate back on there. This little cable here. I don't know if this is supposed to hold both. It looks like it's big enough to, like, you're supposed to put both lines into this guy. Yeah, that looks about right. He was an 11, I believe. That's a half. Where did I put it? Oh, that's right. I grabbed one of the long ones. 10, 11. Tighten her down. All right. Oh, darn it. Might have to double that nut up. Didn't realize it was pulling that guy out. Nobody else is doing that, right? Okay. The old throttle body. these guys in the way for that bottom nut. This one I do by hand. I don't want to mess anything up by tightening it too much. It's just aluminum again. There we go. That back on. Okay. Get these guys over here. Spout connector, all that stuff's hooked up. Cool. Came back in. Okay. And the air temperature. That's done. That's done. Breather. Until this thing's seen better days, I should probably get a new one of those. Now, the throttle. There we go. Put that guy back on. Nice. Spring. Hook him on. And hook him on. Coil back on, well, the coil wire and spark plug hold down. Almost forgot that guy. Idle air control. Nice. And I think that's it. Time to fire it up. See what happens. Hopefully, it's better than what it was. Once over, do one more look over everything. I think it's all in there. No, they're not firing at all. Now it's not firing at all. Did I forget something? That's plugged in, that's plugged in, that's plugged in. That's plugged in. Plugged in. That's plugged in. Plugged in. Oh! Well, hopefully I didn't ruin it. How bad's it beat up? See? I forget things all the time. Put the cap on, and then I forgot to put my coil on. No wonder why I wasn't firing. Take two. First time owning an S795, so yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, I fixed it. No more pinging. Best it's run since I've owned it. Sorry for the really crappy video quality. That's because I forgot to bring my Instant 360 because I did not have high hopes that it was going to be working this well.